What's up, guys, and welcome back to Wake Up Entertainment. So, when it comes to cell phone download records, there is something called a 2-hour rule that is to be adjusted. So, for example, a download record states that a call was made on 4 p.m., but the actual call might have occurred at 6 p.m. So when Colonel Stein testified in his testimony, he did not mention this 2-hour rule when presenting his call data.
Now, Colonel Stein, I'm putting it to you that this did not happen because you forgot. This happened because you wanted to formulate, conjure, fabricate, come up with non-existent evidence to falsely implicate accused number 5, to look as if accused number 5 on this day did have a conversation with the number that ends with 4358. Don't know who that number belongs to, but it is alleged that it belongs to Kelly Kumar.
My Lord, that is totally not true. The only mistake in here is the tower reception, which I put wrong in my statement because of the 2-hour rule. But the fact of the matter, there was communication between that two numbers.
The fact that you are admitting that you made a mistake, it is because of that fabrication that I'm referring to. That at all costs, you wanted to formulate an information and bring to the attention of this court that indeed accused number 5 and the number ending 4358 did have a communication on this day. The reason why I'm saying that, and I want to be very sincere with you, it's because the information that we've brought to court here differs materially from what Ms. Vittingham came testify about.
So looking at Colonel Stein's testimony that he made back in 2023, when he was presenting his data, he was presenting it as it appeared on the download records without the 2-hour adjustment. So this inconsistent, it actually led to discrepancies between the presented call times and the potentially accurate adjusted times. So Colonel Stein was more of like contradicting himself about when the rule is applied, stating in some points that it applies to data calls and at other times it applies to all downloaded information. So this is why Advocate Mnisi went all out and said that Colonel Stein's mistake of that 2-hour rule was not an honest mistake. Advocate Mnisi strongly believes that Colonel Stein intentionally manipulated the call times to falsely implicate the accused. So here Advocate Mnisi is saying that Colonel Stein presented the unadjusted times to create the appearance of communication between the accused and another number that belongs to Kelly Kumalo at specific times that were actually incriminating. So here Advocate Mnisi is painting Colonel Stein as having a motive to make the accused look guilty. So obviously this is the job of the defense, to try and destroy the credibility of the witness. But what we have to look at is that, did Colonel Stein really intentionally change the evidence? So here is a breakdown of what I can see myself when analyzing and looking at Colonel Stein. Obviously, there is inconsistency in his application and explanation of that 2-hour rule that he did back then. One of the things is that when it comes to that data, the cell phone data analysis, it's actually complex and errors can occur. So on the other hand, the witness might have genuinely struggled to keep track of the various data sets and adjustments that are needed. There is also another thing called human error. Yes, you might be an expert, but you can make an error as a human being since you'll be under pressure. And also the stress of the cross-examination, being in court itself and being questioned by the defense. It's hard. You can make those mistakes because you'll be under a lot of pressure, because the job of the defense is to try and prove you wrong. So you'll be fighting in your own little corner, and you can make a mistake as a human being. But also another challenge on the other hand is that, yes, the data itself might be complex, but that is why you have been employed to do that, and you are the expert, and you're supposed to deliver, not struggle to maintain the accuracy. So Colonel Stein might have had like a flawed understanding of the rules application, leading to inconsistencies in his testimony. And also looking at like the way the court was repeatedly asking for clarification, it actually shows us that Colonel Stein might not have like properly understood this information, and he might have been like pointed it out to him by somebody else to say, okay, you made a serious blunder here. So Colonel Stein tried to salvage his reputation in court, and this is what he said. Colonel Stein said, okay, he repeatedly emphasized the crucial fact that the calls were made regardless of the precise timings. So Colonel Stein is basically saying, yes, I may have made the error on the times themselves, but the calls were actually made by accused number 5 to Kelly Kumalo. So looking at that statement that was like repeated continuously by Colonel Stein, it actually tells us that Colonel Stein might have like prioritized the occurrence of the communication over the exact time details. This might have like potentially led to less attention to the 2-hour adjustments. So maybe when he got that link between the accused and Kilikumalo, he might have gotten overexcited, then forgot to adjust the 2-hour rule. It's a real possibility, because you're an investigator, like you're analyzing the data, and when you finally get that eureka moment, you get overexcited and start going down that link and analyzing it, then forget that, oh my goodness, I have to adjust the 2-hour rule. So looking at it, we may give Colonel Stein the benefit of the doubt here, because there is a large amount of data that he was dealing with here, and it's possible that he became overwhelmed and actually made mistakes because of this. So the mistake might have been genuine, and it might have been due to 1, complexity of the data, 2, human error, and 3, potential misunderstanding, not even understanding the 2-hour rule itself. And also, as I indicated, like his focus on the calls being made could have actually like indicated a prioritization of communication over the precise timings that might have occurred. So this is my analysis of Colonel Stein's mistake here. And my ruling is that this was actually a genuine mistake by him, and not an attempt like to try and implicate the accused. But you never know, anything is possible. Tell me you're thinking on your side, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.